My name is Casandra. I'm a sales strategist with about 12 years of experience in the industry. I'm a certified and accredited financial advisor, specifically an insurance with an insurance background. I'm the host and producer of a business and financial show called The Money Hub, which airs on different platforms, and I'm also the host of the morning show on Max TV. And today, I'm excited to be your facilitator. Today, we're discussing handling of customers' complaints. And for us, where we sit as customer service people, some of us here, all we do is to actually handle complaints. That's all. Some do other things like, receiving the client, explaining the product to the client. But then most of us sit in the position where all we do is to handle complaints. And I remember yesterday giving us some few tips on how we are going to, reduce the amount of quote unquote garbage that we have to deal with throughout our lifetime of sitting in the position or in the industry or in the office that we sit, because everybody practically comes to dump. Sometimes the person even came to complain about the product they bought from you. In the end, they complain about their son-in-law, their husbands, and you need to have that listening ear. The question is, are you also not a human being? And that is what makes us experts. That's what makes you an expert. Just like you go to a doctor might be sick, but they will put their sickness. It wouldn't be in front of you. The doctor will now be wheezing and now be saying, I also have headache. Hey, my stomach is painful. Why am I here if your stomach is painful? So you see, that is what makes us professionals. A psychologist can be having a bad day, but as soon as you sit in front of the psychologist puts on their professional, armor and receive you. And that's exactly how, our office is. No matter what we are going through, we put on our armor. And I say armor because we have guarded ourselves with a lot of armor yesterday for war through emotional intelligence and empathy. So I believe by now, we have things that we are using to guard ourselves. The other thing I spoke about yesterday, small things you can do to keep your mental health. I always tell people, once this is gone, everything is gone. So don't lose this. And the only way you will not lose this is when you inculcate little things into your life, like taking few walks. Sometimes when it's heated, walk away. Just say, just a minute. Go to the washroom. Perhaps wash your face. Sit there a bit. Take a walk. Sometimes when it's like, if you like, don't return to the scene. Give it a bit of time, because perhaps the way it's going, you have to live to fight another day. You understand? So take a little bit of walk. Madam, please have a seat. I'll be with you. Go and take like some 5 minutes. Calm yourself down because you need it. You understand? So whatever you do, do not lose your mind. If it is, lovely music you love to play, play it and make sure that you keep yourself in all of this. In the end, you must be able to handle the complaint but not become a complainer. You have to handle all the complaints at work but not to become a complainer to the rest of the world around you. You can handle all the complaints at work, but do not become a nagging wife and a complaining, wife at home. And that is what professionals do. So it is just a complete mindset. It's like standing here. If you're standing here, you're looking at, this man again, he complains too much. He talks too much. He's coming to disturb me. But then when you switch and you stand here, you see, this is my opportunity. There comes the man who was complaining about something on the phone. This is our opportunity to change that. This is our opportunity to make right the wrong. This is an opportunity to explain, because sometimes it's just a miscommunication that has caused one big wahala. And that is why handling of complaint, the mindset behind it has to be completely changed. Look at it as is an opportunity for us to change something. It's an opportunity for us to correct the wrong. It's an opportunity for us to explain, because perhaps the time he bought the product or the service, it was not properly explained, or he didn't even understand. We explained, he didn't understand. So this is our chance again to make right the wrong. So can you imagine that today, Mr. So-so-and-so says, I'm storming your office. I'm taking away my account. It's that time that you are going to prove to Mr. So-so-and-so that the wrong we did you, we're either going to make it right, or the miscommunication, we're either going to diffuse it. And that is what I term the whole concept of handling of customers' complaint, where we move from handling a complaint to making it right. Where we move from handling a difficult customer to explaining it for them to understand. They are two different, and you know, it is just a cross, and you have a perfect concept to be able to handle the complaint. The first one is listen, body language. A couple of days ago, I gave an assignment. Who did it? Who tried it? Anyone who tried the listening? Did you try it? What happened? At home. Who was talking? Who was talking?
My husband.
Your husband.
The one who's always
talking.
So this time I was listening. This and this and this and this and so this is how it is. We are you. Sometimes when you see a cry, I was trying to do already.
Tell me, what did you pick from that listening that perhaps all the time he talks about that same, maybe issue from work, you hadn't picked up?
I think maybe I wasn't really paying attention to the way sometimes he wants things to be done. So maybe instead of me being attentive to see, hey, he really wants it to be not that. Like, hey, we don't feel to say, oh dear, I see, oh dear. So I was just really like, wow. So that's why every time it's this.
Aha, I love that. Who else has practiced listening? Just listen. Okay, so that is also another assignment as you go. Add it to all the things that we have learned here and just practice listening. Just listen. There is an inner being that picks up everything, because once you make up your mind, I am listening, there is something that makes you pay attention to what the person is saying. And that is critical to handling of complaint. Half of the time, because he's coming, our position is, they are coming to complain, they are coming to complain, they are coming to complain. Let him hurry up and leave. And because we're standing in this position, whatever he's saying, he finishes, he goes, the problem is still there, because you said you were going to handle it, but you heard nothing he said. And it's true. Because he was coming, the way he was even coming, you knew that this one is war. So when he was talking, blah, 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 blah. And some schools of thought will say that, if you don't want to take in all the complaints and the anger, you should pretend you are listening, but you're not listening. Very, very wrong. When you really want to get something done, you need to listen. And the other day I said, listen to understand. And the listening to understand means that you either writing a few things down. And that's why we started our first session on customer service with where you writing things down. Learn to write things down. How you feel, how the day went. Are things going well? Learn to, even in your personal life, learn to write things down. Learn to have a vision board. Things that you have written and pasted everywhere that you can visually see. When it comes to transparency, what will I do? Write it down, see it. You know those sticky papers? You can have them around you. Have them written down. Subconsciously, it picks it up. On the day you need it, it produces. Subconsciously, it picks it up. On the day you need it. It produces without you knowing that it has produced it. It produces the answer that you've been saying all the time. So while the customer is talking and you're listening, write it down. Why? Because they may have talked for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. You will not remember everything that a customer said. You won't remember. Even if you're a computer, you won't even remember. So write it down. And the writing down also help you with follow-up question, because perhaps you don't want to interrupt him there. You want him to finish, vent, say everything that you need to say. And then now it helps you with the follow-up question. But if you don't write it down, you might miss the follow-up question, because he says something you want to correct. But because you didn't want to interrupt him, you're like, let me wait till the end. But then in the end, you've forgotten. So write it down so that you can remember. Listen, critical listening, like I said, and it starts with you. If you have mastered the whole thing of listening, I know how to listen. I listen. I talk, but if I want to listen, I'll listen. So if you make yourself that kind of person, perhaps you're talkative, or if you want to listen, you listen. And in this profession, the listening is very critical. And I see body language is there. Now, there are different types of body language. And I know someone will say, it doesn't really matter if I'm listening. So for what I've said now, perhaps you are listening, you are attentive, you're critical about whatever it is, and you're writing everything down. However, your body language says a lot about whether or not you are actually paying attention to what.
This week on FinTech segment, we'll introduce you to some useful CRM tools to manage your clients. The first one is HubSpot CRM. That is for business wanting lots of integration options. The second one is Zoho CRM, and that is for scaling your business. EngagePay is all-in-one business capacity. Bitrix 24 is for businesses with lots of users and contacts. And lastly, FreshWorks CRM. That is for integrated phone systems. I hope you have learned something new on FinTech today.
The client is saying. The body language is very, very critical because someone can be looking into your eyes talking and you've just done this. You're listening. You're listening. So perhaps they'll say, are you listening? Yes, I'm listening. But your body is saying completely different thing. Now the person is upset talking, you've done this. Oh, I'm listening. Oh, sir, I'm listening. You're listening? This doesn't show listening. This shows like, I don't flipping care. Can you hurry up? So body language is very, very critical and very key. He's talking, your eyes are elsewhere. Are you listening? Yes, I'm listening. But you're not even looking at me. So eye contact is very, very key. Yes, please.
But I want to find out, is it good that when you are talking to someone that is older than you, is it good you look into the person's eyes?
Like
someone that is older than you, speaking to you or advising on something, is it good you look into the person's eyes? Is it a good thing?
Let me give you, okay. You see, our cultures are different. However, the corporate culture is one. You can come from the north, Walter, east. Perhaps when you are talking, you look down. So even if it's an elderly person who has come to complain, you're looking down. Hey, Baba. No, Baba. You understand? It's your culture. But that's why there's a corporate culture. For corporate culture, it's completely different. You cannot be bringing Baba. No. You're going to lose your job. You don't do Baba in the workplace. You understand? Or perhaps the next thing your boss comes down, you are laying down. You know the Yorubas? How? What's going on here? You are laying down prostrate. In my office. Really? Perhaps, it's at the reception. And you are down. Down flat. With your suit. What is it? Take your culture home. So you see, the corporate culture is one. And it says that when the person is talking to you, you need to look into the person's face, into the person's eye. That shows that you are listening. You see, some of us have not been trained with that. So perhaps just looking directly into the eye, some people feel, uncomfortable and all that. So there are different ways of doing it. For example, when I started, singing in front of a large crowd, I wasn't looking into people's faces. Sometimes you can go and perform, people are... Not that they are not listening. Sometimes it's not that they don't enjoy it, but they're coming from, some people have been beating back. That's why actually they came to your concert. So do something, do a magic, sing something to make me happy. Don't come and expect me that I came to your concert to make you happy. So you see? So in that case, you don't look into their eyes. You can be looking directly on their forehead or something that looks like I'm looking at her forehead. Does it look like I'm looking at you? Does it look like I'm looking at you? Yeah. And say the eye is just your eyebrow, and it's not But then while you're doing that, you need to pay attention, listening. And don't be looking at the eyebrow and say, that eyebrow. Go try and say, when trying to hear, mommy, pa. So,
one national service,
yeah.
she was sitting by me, and the lady came, and the lady had this funny hair.
Yes.
So all the things that the woman was saying, this girl was not listening. Hairstyle now.
It's bad. It's bad. So you need to be listening. The body language is to help you get into a position that you can be listening. So for me, I always, make sure you're in a position where you're not too, you don't get tired also. Because sometimes you are standing, the man is talking, then you are doing like this. Hey, can he finish now? Hey. So either you find a place where you can just, just get some support. Make sure that your arms are, in a very good, then you can listen to the person attentively. If you need to write something down, quickly write it down. Apologize to them that you're writing down so that you don't forget what they are saying. So then when you finish, you can use that as follow-up questions for them. All right. Now, in order for you to, understanding your body language also helps you to understand the client's body language. So sometimes the person is so upset that, listen, it's time to give the person water. Do you get me? Someone can be so upset, they are either jittery, they are shaking, because of how upset they are. So you should understand your body. I say that all this starts from home, starts from you. You understand yourself. You are aware of yourself. You're aware of the next person. You are in control of your body language. You're in control of the next person's body language. Because you can pick up when, sir, listen, have a seat. Because you can see that the standing, things are beginning to fall, he's jittery, and perhaps it's even because of a medical condition. Whenever they're upset, so now there you can quickly say, please, come have a seat. Or let's step into my office. I was even thinking yesterday, I was saying, those who can create like a solution room, it would be very nice. When the thing is seated, sir, step into my office, let's go. Just stepping into the office, different colors, perhaps a few things that the person can see about calming down. You see, by the time you put the person there and say, let me get you a glass of water or tea, and we'll continue. In a way, you have just helped the person to calm down so that both of you can come to the main reason why you are there, and that is to solve the problem. The person didn't come to raise their voice. They didn't come to talk so that they didn't come there. People don't waste their time driving all the way just to come and scream at you. They came for the answer. You did this, I didn't have this, I loaded this, and I didn't get my credit. No. All he needs, if you give him his credit, what will he do? If he came, he loaded his credit, he didn't get. If you give him his credit, what happens? You solve the problem, he goes. Yes, so he came there not to rant, not to shout. He came there because he wants his problem to be solved. So in the end, if you can get him into a room, into a situation where he's now calmer, for both of you to find the solution, it's better. I always say that involve the customer in the solution. Involve the customer in the solution. Let the person feel like we are in it together. And those things comes with the words that you say. The words that you say. All right, I understand you perfectly. All right, step into my office, sir. Okay, so all right, how would you want us to help you? Sometimes you're not clear on how exactly he wants us to help you. Do you want us to refund? Do you understand me? You are complaining, I bought the ticket. Okay, sir, so how would you want, are you expecting, do you want us to refund? Then now, perhaps the terms and conditions around refund comes, this and that comes. You understand me? So you need to get him into a position where they can explain exactly what they want. So always make sure that the client feels that you are also part of helping them find the solution, okay? And like I said, understand your own body language expression to be able to know how to, to also interpret their body language. Very, very important. The next one says apologize. 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 But before we go to apologize, I had asked Samuel to play some video. So let me just check if the video is there, and then we will use that, and then we'll go to apologize. Today being Friday, we're most definitely going to finish on time, so that, because I'm sure it's going to be traffic. Or yesterday I was thinking about, the whole complaint, and then I was like, when it is done right the first time, through good customer service, through deploying all the customer service, armor and traits, it is easier for us to handle the complaints. Because first of all, the complaints become very little. Secondly, the complaints may not necessarily be a mistake we did, but mere, miscommunication. Or remember that despite everything, we are in a human institution. So whether all the things are right, whether you went through all the correct processes, we will still have a situation where, things could go bad.
This week's brand of the week is Malcolm.